everyone, it's Becky here. So as part of my New Year's resolution stuff, I decided that I'm going to try to force myself to put out at least one new video a month. Not related to pay-per-view reviews or anything related to that. So this month I decided to go with a basic theme of what I'd like to see in the upcoming year. The background is a little weird. I'm actually at school right now, in between classes, so convenient time to film. So I figured with this one, start off, new year, what I'd like to see in 2019 as far as wrestling goes, pro wrestling scene. 7 things, no particular order, just kind of off the top of my head, you know, what would be nice to see in this year? Or what would I like to see in this year? There, I like that better. No selfie stick, meaning I have to hold the phone myself. One thing, I'd like to see All Elite Wrestling do well. They're going to have their Double or Nothing at the end of May. I'd like to, trying to be able to go, actually. Kind of a graduation gift to myself, I'd say. Right at the beginning, middle of May, I'm actually graduating with my bachelor's finally. So, yay. So I figured that would be a good way to reward myself. You see a lot of comments in like message boards and Facebook groups. Oh god, they're such a horrible group that they're not going to do well. They're just trying, basically TNA version 2.0. It's like, they haven't really done much. Give them a chance. Damn. Yeah, it's run by a bunch of wrestlers. Okay. There. Let's see what they do first. Let's not criticize them based on what we think they're gonna do. We've seen All In, and that's it. Yeah, I'll admit, I watched the press conference. That needed a little bit of work, but they're brand new. I'm not going to hold them to the WWE standard of this is how a company is run, and if it's not at that, there's no way they're going to succeed. It's like, they're just starting their company. I personally am not viewing them as competition to WWE. They're not. Let's be honest here. Come on. Fan to fan. Let's be real here. Vince has everything set up pretty much. I highly doubt there will ever be another WCW. Keep looking here instead of looking here. I'm gonna try that. I highly doubt we're ever gonna see another WCW. Well, let's just face it. And that's part of me is saying it's a good thing, and part of me says it's not. Because I like the idea of competition, because it forces Vince to actually do better. And he's not right now, which will be some other things on my list. Let's give them a little bit. Let's see what they do. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Damn. So many people just, oh, they're doing so horribly. They're not going to do anything. Chill. Okay? Damn. Next thing on my list. Can we get the title off of Brock, please? Seriously. Like, I know this is verging into, like, Royal Rumble review territory, but I really wanted Finn to beat him for the title. Because they had that backstory of, I forget what promo it was, but Heyman actually said, it's like, no one has a chance but Balor. Or it was something along those lines. So they've got a backstory there. I mean, I get the whole like, oh, Brock brings in money for the casual fans. But let's be honest here. We how many times a year do we see the Universal title being, like, defended? Maybe 4, 5? And I'm sorry, the whole the catchphrase Heyman uses, it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. Well, yeah, it's gotten that way for a reason. Because now we basically expect Brock to win, no matter what. So it kind of loses that spontaneity of, hey, this may be the person that ends up beating Brock. And now it's just, okay, it's another Brock match. I don't care. Like, they did a really good job of trying to be like, hey, believe in Finn Balor. Dear sweet mother. Alright, text message from one of the boyfriends. But they pushed so much of that whole thing of, hey, let's try to get people behind Finn. He can do this. He can do this. And he didn't. And with, sorry, readjusting. With Raw last night, it looks like he's going into a feud with Lashley? Lashley. I don't give a fuck about Lashley. Like, when it comes to Lashley, there's a term that I've heard used for him, which explains, well, related to my last comment about Brock Lesnar. I've heard him called Black Lesnar. But I'm sorry, this whole thing with Lashley and Lio Rush, Lio just annoys the crap out of me. Like, when Lashley first came in, they had that feud with Sammy where they brought in some guys dressed as his sisters, and oh, it was bad. Let's get the title off of Brock. Brock can come back. I have no problems with that. Come in. Hell, you know what? Have him do a Taker thing. Come in, face someone. He wins, he loses, whatever, he goes away. He doesn't need the title. You know, it's like on Raw, the Intercontinental title is our main title because Brock's off doing who knows what with where and whatever. It's become an irrelevant title. At least to me. Generally, a part-timer should not hold a title unless it would advance a storyline and only for a short period of time. You know, like, for example, not that I advocate WWE doing this at all. I'll just make up one off the top of my head. The Rock comes back, wins the Rumble. Or, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm just planning this off the top of my head. Rock comes back, wins the Rumble, goes to WrestleMania, wins the title. Okay, but you know what? Maybe come, let's see. I don't want him to last till SummerSlam. Money in the Bank? Like one of those, like, let's see, they have it in April, June or July pay-per-view. Oh, maybe SummerSlam. Nope, for this case, we're doing SummerSlam. After WrestleMania, you have someone, just pick anyone. I don't care who, as long as it's good. You know what? I'm going to challenge Rock for the title. And they start building and building and building. Come SummerSlam, they beat him. And Rock goes off. He goes back to Hollywood, does the Titan Games. But they use Rock to put over a current full-time wrestler. That's what the part-timers should be doing. Like, when Cena had this whole thing of, hey, I'm going to come back and be a part of the Rumble. And he's not. I'd be happy if Cena just went away at this point. Yeah, I understand. They're going to bring him back. He's got that Taker name value. Because I'll admit, I am definitely biased. Taker can come and leave whenever he wants. But the thing with Taker is, Taker's never needed a title. Taker can function perfectly fine without a title. So, there's that. Next thing on the list. More Southpaw Regional Wrestling. I loved that stuff. Ooh, hair. Those videos were so good. Because, like, again, fucking internet critics, damn. I've seen some fans criticize it and do that whole thing of, well, it's really stupid, it's hokey, it's not serious. And it's like, it's not meant to be. It's meant to be a parody of the 80s. Which, those gimmicks were everywhere. I'm sorry, the 90s and 2000s kids. That's what wrestling was. A lot of. You had a lot of gimmicks like that. That's where they got them. Maybe another one or another season. As much as I know they wouldn't. I would honestly, you could do it for the network. You don't need to put it on, like, actual, like, live pay-per-view. Do one of the pay-per-views that they've been talking about. Showdown at the Swamp. One of them. But actually do it. Let the wrestlers come out as those gimmicks. Well, you couldn't have Jericho anymore. You'd have to kind of go through and pick. But they could just be easily short matches. They don't need to be anything like 20-minute classics. They could easily be 10-minute matches. Boom, done, go on. Or, random thought, put together a special that feels like exactly what Southpaw is. It's like, hey, you know what? We've got all the promos, we've got the interviews, we just don't have the matches. And put that up. I'm sorry, it's funny. Next thing on the list. Better writing for the women. And I've also got less Bella Twins. The writing is starting to get better for the women's division. Because for the longest time it's been, oh, you're a bitch, I don't like you. Well, yeah, I'm a bitch, I'm a bad girl. Like, good guys, bad guys. I think I read somewhere where someone said, the writing for the women's division makes it look like a bunch of men just watched Mean Girls and assumed that that's how all women act. It's like, no. I just read where I think it was last night on SmackDown. I'm a little behind. Sorry, college. There's actually now a backstory to the Naomi Mandy Rose thing, which goes all the way back to Tough Enough. And I'm like, wait. They have backstory for this now? And it's not just, oh, I don't like you, so I'm going to try to break you and your husband up. There's a backstory. How hard is that? It's like, damn. But better writing for the women. Right now, Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky, I'd say, are doing some of the best. Like, as far as, like, writing and such goes. I'm hoping, honestly, that this does launch into the 4 horsewomen versus the faux horsewomen. The WWE version and the UFC. Because, yeah, I know some of you are going to be like, well, the UFC version was first. Yeah, but let's be honest here. Who's got the bloodline? Charlotte. She's actually got that connection. But hey, why not? You can start setting, they've started setting it up apparently, because we've had all 4 of the WWE's 4 horsewomen hold this up around Ronda. All of them. So I think they're starting to set it up. But also, along those lines, less Bella Twins. Like, let's be honest here. That Evolution match between Ronda and Nikki, there was only one benefit to that match that I saw, or at least I'm thinking of off the top of my head. The whole thing was, for me, it was kind of a passing of the torch from the really, really bad Divas division, which Nikki was like the crown jewel of. Woman could barely wrestle her way out of a wet paper bag if she were given directions. She went from holy, horrible to slightly passable. She was better than Eva Marie, though that's not saying much. Let them go off and do whatever it is. Brie wants another baby. Nikki wants to get married and knocked up. Let them go do it. Dear. Like, every time Total Bellas pops up or there's an ad for Total Bellas, if you go and read through the comments, look how many comments there are of, seriously? Knock it off. We are not interested in this. You are pandering to the wrong audience. Put this on, keep it on E, don't reference it here. Because people are just irritated at it. Like, I'll say this. One of the ways I would watch Total Bellas is if it were Miz and Maryse. You just had them portraying, like, Dawn and Nikki. You could, I don't care. They were amazing. That whole Brie mode thing, that started from when she was drunk all the time. That's how she would act when she's drunk. And yeah, this is a woman we want to have the young girls of the world emulate. Sorry, there's going to be a Bella's video at some point. I'm also going to redo my Cena video. That's on the list. I have my own list. Better writing for the women. Let's have purpose here. Let's have longer than month-long storylines. Next thing I've got. Less of a need for people to leave NXT to come to the main roster. Because anytime someone's starting to get good in NXT, it's that whole thing of, okay, so when are they going to be brought to Raw? When are they going to be brought to SmackDown? And I'm kind of looking at that going, okay, let's be honest. Do they really need to? Because, let's see. Heavy Machinery. Going into one of my later points. Heavy Machinery just got pulled up. They were on SmackDown last night in the 4-way tag match to determine the new #1 contenders for the SmackDown tag titles. Shane McMahon and The Miz. I'll get to that at some point. Not now, though. But Heavy Machinery was brought up. It's like, hey, there's great guys from NXT. And they lost. The Ascension. Damn, they were good in NXT. Crap. No Way Jose. Meh. WWE does not have a good record of transporting people from NXT to WWE and doing well with them. There's a short list. Yeah, they have done well with some people. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. They're not around right now. You get the picture. Not everyone needs to be called up. Let's have some people stay in NXT for a while. Let them go there. They can start being like the senior members of NXT. Whatever. Not everyone needs to come up. And I think that's one of the things that I would like to see less of a push of. Like right now, Velveteen Dream. Let's be honest here. I don't think Vince would do well with him. I don't. Ciampa and Gargano. They would definitely, I'm not saying they couldn't survive. I'm not saying that. All three of those men have, enormous talent. They're amazing wrestlers. But with how Vince does things, that may not be the environment for them. Let's see. Next one I've got with the like, reported as of, like, today, yesterday. It's all within the past 24, 48 hours. Excuse me. There's a bunch of mid-carders that are trying to leave. Like, you know what? You're not doing anything with us. Can we leave now? We're kind of done with this. Dean Ambrose being, like, one of the top guys. Kenta just got it. I don't know if he's been fully granted his release or if it's still being, like, discussed. Kenta wants out. Dean Ambrose wants out. I think I saw a list where Kalisto's on that list too. There's a list of like 8, 9 people. The Revival. WWE has to learn that they need to start doing things with all of their talent. Not just, hey, we really like pushing this guy. We really like pushing this guy. I think in a lot of these cases, I almost want to say having shorter contracts might help it. Because we see, needed to adjust. We see like I think it's like 3-year contracts. 3-4-year contracts, depending on the wrestler. And they do really good for a little bit. Usually right after they sign a contract. And then it turns into, oh, they lost the title. Oh, they're not doing... Dolph Ziggler is my main point right here. Look at the way they fucked that man over. Every time his contract comes up, he's like, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. And what do? We'll give you whatever you want. Just please stay. We need you. Like, well, prior to this, it's been, where else are you going to go? Which is why I'm like, hey, you know what? I think AEW has they've got somewhere where they're going with that. Do I think every wrestler should leave WWE to go to AEW? No. No. There's been a lot of talk about them signing Goldberg or Ryback, and I'm like, neither of them. But like, Ambrose, he could do well on the indie scene. Ziggler, that man could do whatever he wanted. That man's amazing. A lot of the luchadors could go back to... They can go back to Mexico. There's a bunch of fucking federations that they could go to. It's not just WWE or nothing anymore. Which is, I think, good for all wrestling fans. But, like, some of the guys I think they need to do something with, and this is just 3 off the top of my head. Tye Dillinger. Like, I'm not sure how many of you pay attention to, like, internet things and such, but there's a group called The Sweets. It's Baron Corbin, Tye Dillinger, and Prince Pretty. Tyler Breeze. They've kind of grouped up and do, like, gaming stuff and whatever. When you let wrestlers do what they're good at, they're pretty good. Like, I love Tyler Breeze. That man is amazing. It's one of my weaknesses. Bray Wyatt. I know they've talked, like, I've heard rumors that he's gonna be coming back soon. But it's like, you fucked up on the Sister Abigail thing. His tag team with Matt Hardy was really good. I liked that. But they just messed him up. It's like, let the character do what he's good at. Zack Ryder. He's one of those ones where he's been doing fine on his own for years. The Internet Championship, his own YouTube channel, he's got another one, his podcast. That man's good. I think he's one of those ones where, because he is such good friends with some of the AEW guys, I think he could do well there. WWE has to learn how to better use their talent. They do, no matter what. Or else they're going to keep getting unhappy talent that's going to be like, you know what? I'm just phoning it in at this point. I really don't care what happens to my career. I just want out. And that hurts everyone. Last thing I've got on the list for this month is rebuilding the tag division. Tag divisions. I mean, they're trying right now. Because, like, on SmackDown we've got Shane and Miz. Which, again, there was supposed to be that whole push of phasing out the McMahons. And now we've got one as a tag champion. This better be leading to something. But, like, admittedly, I'm kind of behind on Raw and SmackDown. But it's like, I know on SmackDown we've got The Bar, the Usos, New Day, Shane and Miz. Apparently now Heavy Machinery. That's it. On Raw, The Revival. Whoever the tag champs are. Honestly, I don't. No! On Raw, it's Rubles. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Why those two, I don't know. Like, admittedly, I know it's kind of redoing a tag team from the past. But hell, move Chad Gable over to SmackDown. Put him with Shelton. Or wherever Shelton's at. Him and Shelton. Boom! I could buy them as a tag team before I bought Chad and Bobby Roode. Right now there's a lot of singles guys who are thrown together to be tag teams. And in some cases it works. In some it doesn't. I don't know. That's kind of what I've got for my ideas for what I'd like to see in 2019. I highly doubt any of it would happen. Because, again, what do I know? I'm just a wrestling fan. Which, some of it, yeah. I don't have any knowledge of the backstage stuff. But I have been watching for decades. Started watching in '86. So, it's kind of that whole thing of, I've kind of seen how things go over the years, over the decades. It's just my opinion. Agree with it, disagree with it, whatever. Next month, I'm still trying to figure out what my topic might be. But right now, I'm leaning towards bad title runs. You know, the champions that maybe didn't do as well as people thought they would. Or that won the title, like, holy shit, he won the title, and then pretty much became, like, transitional champions. That's kind of what I'm looking at. I was thinking about doing, like, oh, the hottest guys and girls in wrestling. I thought it was too cliche, honestly. Maybe I'll do, like, a mini video, like, top 7, because 7's, like, my number. Other places have 10, other places have 8. I'll go with 7. Lucky number. Maybe I'll put one out, just a short one. Like, hey, top 7 hottest wrestlers. Male, female, whatever. I'll decide later. Comment, like, share, subscribe, you know, all that good happy stuff. If you have ideas for topics, let me know. I don't have very many pops, so, Funko Pop figures. I've got like 8, 9, not a whole lot. Topics to discuss. I know some of you watch these and subscribe. I have subscribers. Give me your thoughts. How about this? You give me a good topic and I'll, like, you know, credit you and such. I'll learn how to do it. I'm trying to. I I gotta get to class. Take care, everyone. Later.